Great morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I am Victor Michael Vincent Jr., and I am your re-entry expert. Peace and blessing, peace for blessings. Man, you got to stand up for something or you'll fall for anything and everything. And I know why it's hard to stand up. This week I had to file a complaint on a large organization. This is a big organization. And when I got finished writing the complaint, it was about 6 pages where I documented times, dates, what was said, what wasn't said, what didn't happen, all because one of my clients has been kind of brushed off and pushed aside by this organization. See, what a lot of people don't realize that there's an ugly part of this re-entry work, and it's called advocacy. See, everybody wants to have a re-entry program where you just tell people, like, what's a job over here? It's a class over here. You can go over here. You can talk to this person. No. When I work with somebody, I really work with them. And if they're not getting what they need from a federally funded or state funded institution, then I feel like I have to advocate in their behalf, because they should be getting the services if an organization is getting money to provide those services. A lot of times, man, these institutions is getting these grants and all this money, but they not helping the people. And I did not want to have to file that complaint, because it's going to make ill will towards me and that organization. And that organization could come after me and could try to hurt me, my clients, and even in the field I work in, by saying, well, we don't want him around here, we don't want him to this and that, because people will take stuff personal even when they wrong. And I'm going to give you a story about that. This is a real story, but I'm going to make up some names because I don't want to put anybody's name out there. I had a buddy named Wally. Wally was a serious dude, man. And me and Wally worked together. No, we didn't work in the same department, but we worked for the same organization. And Wally was sharp. Wally was so sharp. Wally had like 2 or 3 degrees. Wally worked in HR for years. He worked in benefits for years. Wally was just a sharp dude. If I had a problem, even though he didn't oversee anything I was doing, if I was unsure of something, I would go to Wally and be like, hey, Wally, what's the policy for this? Or how do we do this? Or how do we do that? And he would always give me some real serious advice. So one day, Wally decided he wanted to be a supervisor. He wanted to come out of working in HR and just come over and be a supervisor. I believe the pay scale was higher in supervision, and there was more space for him to move upwards. So he came over into the regular workforce and became a supervisor. And it was hard for him to get over there, but he got it. So one day, a position came up for like maybe a assistant department head, and the director, who was new to the organization, asked the department head, like, hey, why would you choose Wally? I know we want to keep these jobs in houses, but Wally seems to be really qualified for this job. He's sharp, he's articulate, he gets along great with the fellas love him. Why wouldn't you give Wally the opportunity to become your assistant? And the department head said, I can't trust him. So the director was like, well, wait a minute. Why can't you trust him? He seems to be the honorable dude. And this dude is an honorable dude. I know he honorable. Strong, moral, Christian dude. I know the man. I've been around him for a while. So the department head says, well, he wrote me up before. And the director was like, well, what happened? He said, man, I told him to do something. He didn't want to do it. So I forced him to do it, because I asked him, was he going to disobey my direct order? And he went on and did it. And then the next day he came in and wrote me up. And I got suspended for 2 days because apparently what I told him to do was illegal. Listen to what I just said. The department head asked the man to do something illegal. And I've been in those situations in jobs where I was asked to do something illegal. And I was like, not me. I can't do it. I can't go back to prison. That's not going to happen. So I flat out told people no and was like, yo, do what you got to do. And people pretty much was like, well, they got somebody else to do it. And sometimes that happens. But the whole moral of the story is, man, he held this over this dude's head for something that he asked him to do that was wrong. This is the country we live in. Beloved, I'm going to ask you to ask your city council members, your mayor, We need to have secret shoppers to go in these organizations that are receiving state and federal funding and make sure people are doing the jobs that they're getting the money for. I understand. Due to T. Sizzle being in the White House, there have been a lot of job cuts. A lot of funding has dried up. It has disappeared. But at the same time, if you lost the funding, if you lost some positions, you got to let people know, because there's nothing worse than a dude sitting at home needing $500 to either pay child support before they lock him up, or to pay restitution before they lock him up, or lock him up because he don't have a job. And the joker say, you know what? They're going to lock me up no matter which way I go. So I'm going to put that gun in my hand, because if I take this money and give it to child support, I'm good. Or if I give it to restitution, I'm good. I don't have to worry about going to jail if I get away with it. And I have to tell dudes like, bro, your life is worth way more than $500. Because when you go in there and you pull that gun out, somebody could get the ups on you and kill you. Or you could kill somebody else. It's all an accident. You didn't mean to shoot them, but that's not how they're going to look at it. And then you're going to be spending the rest of your life in prison. Let's work towards getting you this money in a place of employment before you have to grab that gun. And the funny thing about it is, you don't know how many dudes have told me when I seen them 6 months, 2 years, 5 years later, they was like, boy, it's a good thing you came through, because I was about to take something. And I looked them dead in their eyes and said, yo, I seen it in your eyes. I know you was about to take something, but I love you, man. And I know you worth way more than $500, bro. I'm glad you went to work and did the right thing. Once again, I am Victor Michael Vincent Jr. I am your reentry expert. Man, start holding people accountable for what they do, and not always hold poor people, homeless people, and the formerly incarcerated as holding them accountable, and you won't hold the rest of the world to be accountable for what they do. Peace and blessings.